You're not already here if you don't know what an Ojama is. Don't lie, because if you didn't know, your soul would be immediately crushed by the newfound burden of realizing these vile creatures were indeed brought forth from the human imagination. For those familiar with this pain, you know that there's always more to come, always more Ojama support on the way. I wanted to guess at what our future might have in store by looking at the unreleased Ojamas, so we're doing that. First series of cards to look at is the Mecha Ojamas, or Oja Machine or whatever, which carry a lot of GXisms. You're playing a normal spell to tag out of a fusion monster made with 3 normal monsters, or you summoned Prisma, into a main deck monster which cannot be summoned otherwise, which summons out one of 3 specific names from the deck or hand, only one of the 3 being shown. The monster you do summon fills the rest of the field with tokens on summon, which you could also do by normal summoning it. All this effort, the cost of actually playing Ojamas, for the payoff of usually less than 1,000 burn and a few bodies on field. An enormous waste to space these cards. Except Oja Machine Yellow, which is just the funniest Phantom Sky Blaster in history. Of course it couldn't come to the game in this state. No once per turn on an effect that fills the board with tokens is a big yikes. Also, let me ask, where did that extra level come from? This is probably the best Ojama card ever conceived. Helps that it doesn't need any other Ojamas to function. Sheesh. When considering how they might adapt Mecha Ojama into a realized support wave, you can assume the main deck Oja machines would have some pretty heavy restrictions added, such as once per turns. Hard once per turns. In the theme of Ojamas, Oja machines black and green would probably do something very similar, but I hope with significant differences. 9 copies of the same card would be really boring support, to be honest. Maybe Oja machines black and green could be designed to search and retrieve Ojama back row more easily. Transformation spell's an Ojama name after all. Unfortunately, the rest of the stuff isn't nearly as overwhelming. Ojama Ride is honestly a worse version of Ojama Assimilation, with more strict material requirements and no graveyard recovery effect. Ojama Mandala exists in Duel Links, so it's not unreleased, I guess. Someone out there spent their money on it. Oja Marble recycles an Ojama that was destroyed and draws 2 to pitch 1. Oja Marking is another way to get back an Ojama which died in combat, but you have to put it in graveyard and lose a monster in battle. But at least you get the Ojama of your choice back so you can summon the king. Ojama Delta Thunder is just 3 more copies of Hurricane, but with some honestly pretty nice burn for what it is. Deltaware is another battle trick, and I think you have to summon back 3 eligible targets to resolve this, so it's never going off, even by Ojama standards. Delta Thunder would be nice to have in its current form, but the non-machine stuff all needs extreme reworks to make any of the cards close to viable, so maybe they're just better off staying in the anime. After all, Pink wasn't in the anime and that came out of nowhere. You have no idea what's gonna happen with Ojamas, which is why I'm so terrified of them. Make sure to lock your windows. They could get in. Take care.